Well, good afternoon, YouTube. And as we draw near the end of 2017, wanted to do a quick little unboxing and initial review of a new item that I just got. And as always, welcome to Sheepdog Preparedness. Kenny back with you. Looked into night vision and thermal and couldn't make up my mind for the longest time, so I did a lot more research. Watched a lot of YouTube videos, watched a lot of other videos, did some comparison of night vision and thermal and whatnot, and decided on the Leupold LTO Quest HD. And they make two models of this so far. There's the Quest and then there's the Quest HD. The main difference between the two is the Quest, a little bit cheaper, retails for around $500, depending on sources, and it has an effective range of about 350 yards and a 20-degree thermal detection circuitry. So the HD version reaches out to 750 yards and a 30-degree, so a lot wider view. And both of them have about a 15 hertz, a little bit more than 15 hertz refresh rate, so pretty quick sampling, so it's not like you're going to see a herky-jerky movement on the screen or anything like that. The Leupold version, what they promote it for is for, outdoor and hunting uses, for being able to go out and find game, track game, and that's perfect use for it. That's going to be great for that, but I think in my mind, these things had a million other uses. So, field of view on this one, actually it's 32 degrees. I think I said 30. It's got a digital zoom on it. And a bunch of different color spectrum options. But here's what she looks like. And I tell you what, folks, I am highly impressed with this beast so far. As we pan around the room here, you're going to see it adjusting. That's basically a little candle fixture that's hanging on the wall. Now you'll notice those lines. See those lines going across there? That's the studs and the joists in the walls. All those lines you see, I'm pointing at the ceiling now. Those are ceiling joists. It's that sensitive. The little reticle you see in the middle that's showing the temperature, the 72 degrees, you can turn that feature on and off if you'd like. I'm trying to find... It's hard to operate the camera and operate the thermal at the same time. Trying to find the some of the heat registers and whatnot so I can show you the heat coming out. There was a ceiling light. You can see that. It will not reflect or see through glass. It basically reflects it right back at you. So you have a heck of a time if you're trying to point it out a window or something like that. You'll see those are all studs and joists and whatnot. You point that little reticle at whatever you're wanting to measure, and it's going to tell you that's the temperature of that item that's centered on that reticle. So, pretty slick little device. Walk out here into the mud room and see. Got a light there in the ceiling. Light's not on at the moment, so it's cool. Let's reach up here and turn that light on. And let's see what happens here. You can see the temperature adjusting. That will go up and start getting higher and higher as that light gets warm. But I have played with this a little bit. I've had it out of the box some and have been outside with it a little bit. One of the features that I thought would be cool to use it for is, let me point it at this door here. Look at that door. See how leaky that is? You could use that around the house to find out where you're lacking in your insulation. I can show you exactly on that door where it's got issues. Look at that top corner. Got a lot of heat leaching out of that door. And that's a door that goes from our family room, from the kitchen out into the family room. So I'm going to examine that a little bit closer. See if I can do something about that. Let's go in here and show you. We got some pups in here. Here's what it does on body heat. Look at there. Got the 3 dogs in here taking it easy today. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Electronic stuff, you could use it to examine circuits to find something that's having issues and overheating. There's the washing machine. You can see where the electronics are on stuff, because that's the stuff that puts out the heat. That's a ceiling light fixture, fluorescent light fixture. That bad boy right there. You've got several different modes on here. Press this little button and you've got filters, and you can cycle through those and do. There's a black, a white one, red, green, copper. The one that I like the most is this color range one. It really gives you an opportunity to be able to distinguish what's what. Get in here to the living room and you'll see there's a heat register that comes out of the ceiling there. Wood stove is running today and it's tied into this system, so you can see the heat coming out of that. Show you a neat little trick here. Let's do something here. I'll show you something slick. Got a wall here. I'll put my hand against this wall and I'm only going to leave it up there for 5 seconds. Pull my hand off that wall. And there we go. Isn't that wild? Look at my handprint still showing on the wall. Look at their fingers and everything. Totally picking that up, just plain as day. I've been able to follow the dogs around and follow my own footsteps around with this, and actually see paw prints left behind by the dogs as they're walking around. It's that sensitive. You can follow behind the dog and see everywhere they've stepped, and you can do it with human footprints as well. It's that sensitive. So what are the preparedness and survival uses for it? I can think of a million things, and would just love to hear everybody else's input too. What else can you think of? I'm thinking, the obvious stuff: finding game, tracking game after you've shot something, using it for household uses like what we talked about with, checking for insulating properties, where your doors and windows might be leaking. Intruders, prowlers, snipers. Nobody's going to hide from this beast. 750-yard range. It says it'll detect heat signature out to that range. Good grief, can you imagine? Somebody's out there jacking around that's not supposed to be. You get out there in the dark, there's no need in grabbing a flashlight. Grab a hold of this bad boy, and they're not going to hide from this. You're going to be able to pick them out real fast. So, I've been told, we've got a well on the farm, we've got creek, and we've got ponds, so I got tons of water sources, but I've been told by family members that there is a natural spring, and no one seems to know exactly where it's at. They just have been told, throughout generations, there's a spring on the farm. And, well, let's find that bad boy. Once warm weather gets here, I think I'll get out there and we'll see that cold water coming out of the ground with this, and we'll find it. See if it's something that continually flows or not. some of the other uses. You can use this bad boy for checking temperature on all sorts of things. So if you're trying to find out if something's overheating, a circuit, something on a vehicle, you can point it at people and know who's got a fever and who doesn't. So, just think of that in the time of like pandemic or disease outbreaks and things like that, being able to know who's potentially sick and who's not. It does have a flashlight on it as well. Got a high and a low and a strobe feature. You can program the intensity of the flashlight through the menus. So it's a 300 lumen flashlight. So if you want the high to be 100%, 300 lumens, you can program it that way. The low, you can program it to be any range you also want it to be. So you could have the high at 80%, the low at 20%. You could have the high at 100%, the low at 10%, whatever you want it to be. So that when you tap the button, you get your high setting, then your low, and then your strobe. The flashlight function will work without the unit being turned on, so you can grab it up off the counter or out of your pocket and use the flashlight without having to go through the boot up process. It takes a couple seconds to shut down, a couple seconds to boot up, but it's ready to rock and roll pretty quick like. This is the Leupold version, the HD version. From what I understand, all of these are actually from a company called Seek, S-E-E-K. Seek is the ones that came out with this, their original model, and then now their higher resolution model. They're selling like an orange version of it for firefighters to carry in their pockets. I used to use a thermal camera in the fire department a lot, much larger handheld, more like a pistol-looking device with a lot larger screen. I think that thing was $10,000, and we kept it on the fire truck. Just think of what you could do with this. Missing person searches even. You got a kid that's missing that no one can seem to find in the neighborhood. Don't think it would take long with this. You got something that you suspect is overheating. Point it at the wall, point it through the wall, see what's going on. Find out how hot it is and what's happening. Find mice that are hiding inside the walls. Find critters that have gotten into the house or in the crawl spaces or whatever. Just tons and tons of uses. It's cold in Missouri right now, really cold. So won't get outside and do any outdoor footage with it at the moment, but first chance I get, I'll do a full review and show you a bunch of things that I capture with it. It does have a built-in camera feature on it so that you can capture photos. I can get into the gallery now. There's a photo from earlier. You can see the dog's leg in the picture, and then you can see the dog's paw prints on the floor. That's what it looked like as the dog was walking around. It was capturing the signature left behind from the paw prints. There's a dog. That was a skillet of bacon frying yesterday. Heat register, dogs, my handprint on the wall. It's pretty slick. You can get in that menu and view all of your pictures that you've taken. It doesn't do video, but it does do photos, and it does have built-in storage to, I think it holds something like 2,000 or 3,000 images. Yeah, 2,000 images. So feel free to comment below other ideas that you can think of, other uses for this bad boy. I just thought immediately of the number one and number two things for me. It would be finding and tracking deer and finding and tracking people. Whether it be intruder, whether it be a SHTF scenario and it's a potential sniper, or taking this bad boy out on security patrols, it would just be amazing for that. I'll post links in the comments. You can buy these in a bunch of different places. The Seek versions are on Amazon, and also Seek has a website. I'll post a link to that. This version, the Leupold version, I got from Midway USA. They sell the regular standard version and this HD version. This one, I think I told you earlier, the standard is about $500 retail. This one is about $750. But slick little device. I think it could be a useful investment. Like I said, feel free to comment. Give me your other ideas on uses, what you think it could be used for. I'll post a more in-depth review at a later time. Happy New Year to everybody, and we'll see you in 2018. Are you ready?